Hello, welcome to our holiday edition of the Embodied cooking classes. We're going to be making some double chocolate orange cookies. Double chocolate in that it is a chocolate dough with chocolate chips, and then we're going to add some orange zest into there to sort of give it that extra something special. I absolutely love chocolate and orange together. I think they're really special. I know it's sort of more of a British thing, but I think it needs to be popularized. So I hope you'll enjoy it. And before we get started on this little baking adventure, let's start with our usual deep breaths. And I'm feeling a little stiff today. I might actually just move my arms around, neck one way and another. And let's just get into our breath. So we'll take 3 just easy deep breaths. And then we're going to do just about 5 rounds of samavriti. It's the equal breath. So you're going to breathe in long and slow, almost like a hissing sound in your throat. You're sort of slightly constricting your throat just to make the breath go as long and slow as possible. Just at the comfortable peak and pause, and then release it all again with that same energy of slow. And if you like, you can count up to 10 in and 10 out to equalize them, or you can sort of feel it. That's personally what I prefer. Either way, try to keep them equal. We're going to do 5 rounds of that. So first breath. Pause and release. And the second one when you're ready. Third when you're ready. Fourth. And the last one. Okay, then we're going to bring our hands to heart center and just set our intention for this class today, whatever it may be. Always a good one is to just be, pardon me, be here, be present in this moment, and see what arises. Be open and receptive. Okay. Breath is magic, I'm telling you. I feel so much better. I can feel sort of tingling sensation in my arms and my legs and this sort of heat coming off. And to me, that's always this experience of a little bit of release. I think some release of tension and worry. You know, at this time of year, there's so many things going on. And our world is so complicated and confusing. We're always carrying, I think, more than we think. And so taking a little bit of time just to breathe and notice how it's affecting you, and notice also that your body can actually like release it is so healthy. Okay, wonderful. So let's begin. Butter. We have 2 sticks of unsalted butter here. That's a cup of butter. This is going to make, I can't remember, it's a bunch of cookies. This is like for a party. For, you know, you can freeze these. You can give them to neighbors. This is a lot of cookies. I often, when I make this quantity, will actually make the whole recipe, but then take half and freeze the dough for later. And then it's like this beautiful gift to yourself in the future, where you just have cookie dough that you can thaw on the counter and throw into the oven and thrill your children. But so I have this sort of room temperature butter here. Room temperature-ish. We're going to mix that with sugar. Oop, what am I doing? So 1 cup of butter. And a fresh bag of brown sugar here. One and a half cups of sugar. I'm going to take my half cup measure. One. And 1 and a half. Cling. Oh, and we're going to set our oven to 375 while we remember. There we go. And now a lot of recipes when we're using brown sugar, actually this recipe just calls for regular sugar, but I have brown sugar. It's all good. I love brown sugar actually. I prefer to use it for the most part. I think it has a bit more flavor. But so often people ask you to pack it down, and that's just so that it's like a more perfect measurement. I didn't really do it this time because I know this recipe, it's so forgiving, it's all good. I don't mind if I use slightly less sugar. That's maybe not the worst thing. But so yes, when you're trying to get accurate measurements of your brown sugar, packing it is a really good choice. But and I will often actually do this step in the electric mixer, but I just wanted to do it in this slow, relaxed way with you today, because that's what we do. Although it's also very relaxing to just have a machine do it for you. But this definitely brings back memories for me, actually. I used to love, it's almost a cliche, like sitting on the counter with my mom, mixing cookie dough. In particular, the step of the sugar and the butter. I would sit there, and all the smell of the butter and the sugar coming together, and the sort of the sound of the sugar crystals sort of roughing up the soft butter and how much it changes. It goes from these two totally separate substances that are so different from each other. And they come together, you know, changing along the way. As you can see, it's like changing as these two things come together, as the sugar crystals moisten from the fat, and eventually it will all be smooth. And I remember just as a kid feeling so delighted in this process. It was so amazing to me. It would take me ages, you know. Actually, I'm going to use this spoon. It's a little easier than we'll use that in a bit for sure, but I just remember how good it felt to create this transformation. I would feel so proud. And I loved, you know, that my mom would just let me do that. She trusted me to do that on my own. And she wouldn't bother me. She'd just let me do it. Take as long as it took. And then I could be proud of myself. And I think, you know, so much of the time, I'm not saying that I experience that every time I make this. I think I don't feel a lot of, I'm rarely really all that connected to the sense of pride that I feel in creating food. But I think it's there always. It's there underneath the surface. There's this just appreciation that this is something that I can do. A simple way to create something and feel that sort of vitality of the body and ourselves, that we can decide to do something and then just do it. And I really always feel like if I could just take that approach to all of life, things would be pretty easeful. But I don't, of course. Constantly doing 45 things at once, making it way harder on myself than I need to, worrying about the future before it's even happened, assuming that it will be just like this other terrible thing that happened. But yeah, look at that. Just like when I was a kid. All smooth and beautiful. I love it. And so now I'm going to add 2 eggs. Ooh, 2 left. Actually, I have a dozen more in there, so it's fine. Don't worry. This is another really exciting change. The eggs go in, and you mix them in. It's like, whoa, my incredible smooth mixture is now all gushy, and how is this going to work? But you just keep the faith, keep stirring. Oh, goodbye, orange. And it changes. You have this gushy sound. Oh, and scrunchy sound from the sugar. Okay, so we have one in. Next one. You don't have to do these one at a time, but it's kind of fun. You could do them both at once. 2 eggs. Oh yeah. I actually don't smell much from the addition of the egg, but the butter and sugar is still really powerful. Wow. this was always my favorite sort of layer of the dough as a kid. I would sneak tastes even with the raw egg in there. It's so yummy. Butter, sugar, and egg. Incredible. My goodness, it smells quite good. And so at this point, I'm actually going to add in the zest. And in the recipe, I call for a navel orange, so like a nice big one, and it's much easier to zest, but because of the time of year, of course, I have these little guys around, which are way more, oh my gosh, am I even going to be able to do this? Like, get the zest to come off. Yeah, there we go. Okay, just got to press a little harder. So I'm going to do this to about like 5 of them, so I have a decent amount of zest. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm really enjoying the smell. Even if this is kind of difficult. It's spraying everywhere. Our oven is ready. It's letting us know. And then while these are in the oven, I can just eat these oranges. Oh, there's really nothing better than citrus zest, I'm telling you. It's so magical. So much flavor. This one is much easier. That one was a little squishy. Makes a nice sound. Whoop. Remembering to keep taking those deep breaths, because while I definitely felt that stress leave my body, still got a lot more in there, unfortunately. And every time I have, you know, a fearful thought about something, some worry, I tense up again. So it's really an effort when we're in these states to then stay in a restful, relaxed, and open state and just be with what we're doing right now. It requires a major focus. Which we develop over time. And so much of what develops that is just doing it. Just noticing, oh gosh, here I am zesting an orange, thinking about how I haven't done that thing yet. Or thinking, oh my gosh, I'm too tired to do that thing. Is that going to be okay? All these kinds of things. Instead of being with it. The smell, the spray, the sound, and the feel of it all. And that sense of vitality, of doing something. And a kind of gratitude, I'm noticing, is arising for me as I do all of that. Gratitude to be here. Gratitude to be able to share what I love so much with you all. That any of you would listen. Gratitude for this orange. that it was grown and picked and packaged and brought to a store, and then I got to bring it home and now work with it and experience it. Such a treat. And I feel that, I think we say these things like, oh, it's such a treat to do these things, and we can know that intellectually, and that's definitely like the start. But when we feel it a little deeper inside, that is really when the magic starts. Okay, so we have our zest. Wonderful. And I'm adding it at this stage sort of in with the fat so that we can really get the flavor infused in there. Okay. So cool. Okay. And now our dry ingredients. We're going to do 1.25 cups of flour. And baking soda, 3/4 teaspoon. Just level it off. Something so satisfying about that. And so it's definitely best practice to put these dry ingredients in a separate bowl and like mix them all together so that everything's like really, really well mixed. But again, in some weird way, I just always want to show you it's okay to like not do everything exactly right. They're still going to turn out. I'm mixing them a little bit. I'm going to mix it all together. It's going to be just fine. Now we're going to do 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Wonderful. And last but not least, very important, we have our cocoa. Yeah, okay. So 3/4 cup of cocoa. Woo-hoo-hoo. 1/4. This is a lot of cocoa, actually. So they're like quite chocolatey. Cocoa, of course, is the part of chocolate that doesn't have the cocoa butter, the fat. So it's dry and there's no sugar. It's just like pure chocolate essence. Which is why, of course, we have to have butter and sugar in here. It's going to taste completely crazy. Okay, now, remember how we have that nice light brown underneath? It is going to turn a very different color as I mix here. This would have been and the smell now is like completely changing again. I can smell the orange and the chocolate, and then as the chocolate hits the butter, the fat, it just releases intense amounts of chocolate aroma into the air. Okay, now here's what I'm talking about. The light browns and whites disappear into beautiful, dark, chocolatey, dough. And it's quite a wet, sort of loose dough. Amazing. So that's looking almost good enough. Not quite completely mixed together, but I'm going to add the chocolate chips in now. 2 cups, goodbye. Okay, we don't have quite 2 cups, but it's okay. Still plenty chocolatey. Oh my goodness. Chocolate orange. And so I'm wanting to just, now that I have the flour in, I'm wanting to mix it up just enough, but not sort of knead it like we would with a bread dough or all kinds of other things, because we don't want to work the gluten in the flour and have really chewy cookies. Okay, this is done. My hands have chocolate on them. Okay, let me move a few of these things out of the way. And I'm gonna bring this pan over here. Now this is something that I actually do feel kind of strong. This is like a little bit of a baking person thing. I think it's really important not to squish the cookies close together. Give them lots and lots of room because they do expand a lot and you don't want them to smush together. They just don't bake as evenly. So let's try to keep them sort of the same size. And on this pan, we're just gonna do 6. 6 and 6. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just gonna use my hands, yeah. I'm not even going to try. They're already covered. And this is fun. Now I get to have this other sensory experience with this like gooey chocolate chip cookie dough, or double chocolate orange cookie dough. All right. Fantastic. So that's 1 tray. And 2 trays. One. 2. 3. 4. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna try to like synchronize my breath with putting these on. Okay, 5. Then breathe in, grab some more. And breathe out. Put it on here. That didn't quite work, but that's okay. Okay, I'm gonna wash my hands. Close enough. Still some chocolate under my fingers. That's just how it's gonna be. 1 up. 1 down. So, probably if I was doing this another time, I would go off and do something. But since I'm with you and I want to show you the end result, let's do a meditation. Okay. And think a little bit about, and just sort of seed the experience with everything that we're doing right now, the time of year, the slowness of this time of year. You know, it's likely cold outside. It's definitely dark. We're spending a lot of time indoors. We are baking something so we can experience all the aroma of that and the warmth from that and that effort. Let's just be with that now. And so I'll ask you to find a comfortable seat, or of course you can stand like me if you'd like. I'm going to stand consciously as I can, just placing my feet fully on the ground, feeling my heels and my toes. I'm just trying to get everything as sort of flat and solid as possible to really feel supported. And feel that support all the way up my ankles, through my calves and knees, into my thighs and hips, up into my stomach and low back, up into my chest and shoulder blades, into my shoulders, and down my arms, into my hands, the wrists, up into my neck, jaw, and into the face, all the way inside, into the skull, feeling the tongue and the teeth, up into the eyes and forehead, and then out the top of the head. The body is one long connection chain of communication. So as we feel our feet on the ground, we can feel that sensation all the way to the top of our head. Just deepen your breath. Just relax into the comfort of your body. Feel the warmth of it. The vitality. And witness the quiet. And the quiet, but the pulsing aliveness in the quiet. Allow yourself to sort of follow that to subtler and subtler sensations. Just going deeper and deeper inside. Know that it is a gift you're giving yourself to do that. And just allow your breath to support you. It may mean deepening it, it may mean breathing very softly, very gently. Don't think about it, just allow the body to take the lead. And just notice what's there right now, whatever it is. We don't have to say it's good or bad. Now focus with all your incredible power to that space just there in front of you. Just for 1 minute, focus everything you have there. And bring your hands to heart center. And slowly and gently open your eyes. We're going to have a beep very soon. I was going to say the fruits of our labor, but the cookies of our labor. Here they are. So you can see, it's a little hard to see like doneness with something so dark. You can see that the edges are a little darker than this, and they are cooked through. And I'm just going to leave them on here to harden up a little bit, and then I will scoop them off with a spatula to a cooling rack, or just a plate, honestly, is fine. And eat them once they are at non-molten temperatures. And that is that. Making Christmas cookies, making holiday cookies, making wintertime cookies, the embodied way. I'm gonna turn off the oven for now. Thank you so much for joining me. I really enjoyed that, and I feel a lot better actually. I hope you do too. I hope this can be a nice space if you're feeling any stress in the holidays to just unwind a little bit. Thank you so much for joining me. Please let me know if you have any requests or anything you ever want to discuss here. I am so open to that. Thank you. Bye-bye.